What up, Laker family? It's your boy DTLF back with another post-game recap. What we gonna say today, y'all? What we gonna say today about this Laker squad that just seems to be lifeless? Yes, we're injured. Yes, we're on the road. But that effort, guys, giving up 132 points to Portland and only scoring 116, y'all. Oh man, I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed in this team. I'm starting to get numb to it though. I'm starting to get really, really numb to it. It's gotten to the point where 132 is becoming a norm, man. We gave up 138, I believe, or 139 to Charlotte. All right, another below 500 team. Now we do it to Portland, who's a little bit better on paper than Charlotte. But for me, it's not just the way we played tonight, but it's the effort that we displayed tonight and that we keep displaying. Um, 132. That's a crazy. That's to give up 132 to a team that's not even at 500. LeBron struggled mightily, 6 for 16. This is one of his least efficient games. I was hoping we played through him. He had 4 turnovers, 8 assists, 2 blocks. One thing we don't realize why LeBron and sometimes even Luca um, have efficient games is because they have each other out there on the floor. When one goes missing or whatever, the defense can focus a little bit more on that player. So now you get 6 for 16 from LeBron. Okay. Maxi Khaliba came out hot, but then eventually tailed off. He had 11 points. Marcus Smart, 25 points, but just not a good performance from anybody, man. You know, he in spite of having 25 points, 9 for 17, he was a minus 14 on the plus minus. So not really a positive impact. And this is where plus minus lies, because Gabe Vincent was a +4, but Gabe Vincent was absolute trash. 1 for 6 from the field, and then 1 for 4 from behind the arc with 3 turnovers. Just absolute dog shit. Rui, 11 points, 4 for 7 was okay. Jared Vanderbilt, 6 points on 3 for 3 was okay. Drew Timme was the silver lining, 21 points, 9 for 12. He finally gets an opportunity to shine, and he made the most of his opportunity. You know, he made the most out of his opportunity, guys. And so, man, this team right now is just free falling. I don't know what the bottom pit is going to hold for us. You know, I have no idea what the bottom pit is going to hold for us because there could be spikes under there, like Mortal Kombat style, or maybe there's an air vent where we can lift back up again. But this team right now, guys, I'm sitting here in this hotel. I'm not even enjoying the hotel right now because I was wasting my time watching this Laker game. And for them to not even try, I might as well took a nap in that comfortable ass bed over there. I might as well. They're gonna come out here. I'm telling you, they should wear a "I don't feel like playing" sign on. Drew Timme was amazing. I'm gonna talk about the positive last. Okay, I like what Kobe Buffkin did. Those were the silver linings as young players, but the team as a whole right now is just broken. Okay. Meanwhile, we still got Rich Paul out here sounding like poor Paul, like broke Paul, like a broken record. Okay, and it sucks. It sucks that they come out here and lay an egg on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. And if you're a 49ers fan, I'm sorry. A lot of my friends that are, both of your teams lost tonight, but one actually got eliminated. So that's even worse. My Rams better not let me down. And we play another back to back. Another one. The Lakers play tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do pregame really early, guys, tomorrow so I can enjoy the hotel. And then I'm going to watch my Ram game and then followed by the Laker game, followed by post game. Okay. And hopefully we get a double celebration tomorrow. But tonight, it was bad, man. He played like he was drunk. You're not wrong. Here's the worst part about tonight. Check this out. Every team that we were hoping to lose to help us in the standings a little bit won. Nuggets won. Okay. The Spurs won. The Warriors won. All right. So most of the teams won. So here we are now. Here we are. Teams are catching up. We're not looking good, y'all. We're not looking good right now. And in the standings, we're sixth. The Rockets are ahead of us. And the Suns are creeping up on us. The Suns are half a game behind us. The Warriors somehow have managed to make a comeback, and they are only how many games? Let's see, they're like 3.5 games behind us. And now the Trailblazers, the team we lost to, they're like 4.5, 5.5 games behind us. So we're closer to falling into the play-in tournament. Not to say the season's ending tonight, but we're closer to that than to actually moving up in the standings. And schedule not getting easier because tomorrow we play Toronto. They got some young dogs over there. They're going to be really, really tough tomorrow. But again, the Lakers fall to the Portland Trailblazers 116 to 132 in an away game. Just several key factors here, man. The rebounding disparity. Portland absolutely dominated us in the boards. Again, no DeAndre Ayton, no Jackson Hayes. We felt their presence missing today. 61 total rebounds and 12 offensive compared to Lakers only 34. 34 rebounds. They almost doubled us up. All right. So this is what I say. It's disappointing to see this type of effort. That's always going to lead to second chance points and opportunities for the Trailblazers. They capitalized on an extra possession. Simple. Slow starts and defensive lapses again. The Blazers exploded for 40 points in the first quarter while holding the Lakers to 27. We're already down 13 in the first quarter, guys. You're not going to win any ball games like this. I've talked about it all year. What a bad habit it has become to get off to these slow starts. It's been such a bad habit, man. Disgusting habit. And it's going to cost us, man. It's going to cost him. How many blowouts until JJ's in the hot seat and gets fired? He should already be in the hot seat. He said he wasn't going to have 50 more of these games. Well, last I checked, we started out this new year with 3 wins. Ever since then, it's been a travesty, man. Ever since then, we've been getting blown out by mediocre teams game after game. Oh, and somebody was telling me pregame that Charlotte's actually pretty good at shooting. I couldn't tell. They only had 116 themselves against the Warriors today. Okay, so that tells you how bad the Lakers have been right now, man, and we're bad. Thank you for super chat, Mamba. Appreciate you, bro. Seriously, appreciate you, bro. I don't know, man. No, I didn't move. I'm in a hotel right now, bro. I'm in a hotel. Did not move. They're remodeling my apartment, bro. They are remodeling. Getting no boards if you can't guard, and as a result, they hit everything. It's bad defense. This is almost comedic relief right now, the way we're playing compared to how we started the year, man. We can't even say we're playing worse. The excuse was that we're playing worse competition, right? That's why we had a free fall. Now the excuse is going to be injuries. There's always going to be an excuse. The truth of the matter is the chemistry isn't there. We're not playing for each other. Let's go see. Just out of curiosity, let's go see how many assists we had tonight, bro. I want to see. Tonight, the Lakers had a grand whopping total of 25 assists. I told you guys 25 is cool and all. We got to get this over 30 now. 35 would be preferable. All right. And again, a lot of that, those are phantom runs we had tonight and stuff like that. It's just, it really is disgusting the way we play, the lack of effort, giving up second chance points. And it's just, but hey, appreciate you, Maxi. Thank you for being a member, brother.
I want to thank you for becoming a member. On Detailist channel, we're a family, and together, we win.
Together we win, says Vin Diesel. Not tonight. Together we lost, man. And again, this Laker effort, man, has been the turnovers, man. The turnovers are driving me crazy, bro. And even when we limit them, we don't get back in transition. So one turnover feels as bad as 2. Okay. And of course, we were impacted by the absences, right? The players that didn't play. No Jackson Hayes, no Luka, obviously, no DeAndre Ayton. But when young players that don't regularly play are your best players, that's a huge issue for me. Like, our best players tonight, guys, was not even LeBron in them. You know, our best players tonight was Drew Timme, if I'm being honest. If we're talking about efficiency and just the way he played, Drew Timme was our best player tonight. And nothing against Drew. I was actually impressed, and I think he capitalized off of his opportunity. In 29 minutes, he had 21 points. I just pull up his stat sheet real quick. Yeah, you know, he was efficient offensively. 9 for 12 from the field, 21 points. That's why he's in my thumbnail. 3 for 4 from 3. So showcase a little bit of everything. He had 4 assists. He did have 2 turnovers. He had 2 steals. And then again, I really like Kobe Buffkin a lot, man. 22 minutes, he had 9 points, 3 for 8. 1 for 5, 3-pointer had to improve for sure. You know, he had 1 rebound, 1 assist. But I like his defense more than anything. That's why he came up even on the plus minus. But It's sad that these are some of your best players. When you have LeBron, you got Jake Laravia, 2 points over, still not acceptable, man. He did have 4 assists, good for him. 5 rebounds, nice. We needed more from Jake tonight. And then Rui, 11 points off the bench, pretty solid. But Gabe is just continues to be 1 for 6 and 1 for 4. This is after going over 7 the previous night. When is JJ Redick going to realize that mother sucker right there, you know what I'm saying, is not playable, man? It's not playable, guys. When are they going to realize that? He's not playable, guys. Simple. He said the Lakers are bottom 10 in a ton of metrics. They can't shoot, they can't defend, they can't rim protect, they can't rebound consistently. They have been negative net rating team all year, even early. We've gotten worse, though, D-Free. We didn't start at the bottom like this, bro. We didn't build up that 11, 12 game over 500 by being at the bottom all year. That's cap, my brother. We know we started off a lot better. We got to stop making excuses for the things that have happened. Unfortunately, chemistry's gotten worse. Injuries got worse. All that impacted it. But, man, it's just disappointing. His team looks a whole lot different without Luka and Reaves. But on to the next one. Facts. That's the mindset. Tamika said, I'm tired of losing. I feel that. Sis, I feel that. This is I can't even show emotion right now. First of all, I'm drained. But secondly, this team not showing us heart. They're not showing us passion, man. It's hard to show passion for someone that don't show passion right now. They don't have the versatility to have any margin for error. I mean, seriously, if you're about Pelinka and you wanted to build a single worst roster you could build for this year, this is it. It just feels like the pieces that we have right now don't really fit around Luka, LeBron, and Austin. I feel like the pieces that we have are good individual pieces that can get you some stats. But there's not too many impact players. And when those impact players like Jake, who's a pretty decent impact player, when those type of impact players have off nights, you really feel it. It's really the depth. We're top heavy, man. We have a lot of players. We have a lot of project players. That's one thing I was looking at today. Let's count how many project players we have on the roster. We got Chris Manning, who was a DNP coach's decision tonight. Bronny James, Kobe Buffkin, Nick Smith Jr., Drew Timme. That I already mentioned. Wait, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dalton, 6. 6 project players, and only Rui and Jared Vanderbilt. Let me pull it up so you can see it. You can see the visual of what I'm looking at. Oh, you already are. As you can see from the bottom to the top. Let me highlight all the project players that aren't fully developed and aren't really reliable players, just so you can see. That's too many. I was mentioning it during our primetime segment. That's our bench, y'all. Everybody who's highlighted, Drew Timme, Dalton, Nick Smith, Kobe Buffkin, Bronny James, Chris Manning. That was our bench tonight. Only 2 players you can rely on, whether it's offensively with Rui or defensively with Vando. Okay? That's way too many project players that we have on this roster. We're being quite frank. That's a lot of project players we have. A lot of that goes on Robbie P, for sure. A lot of that goes on Robbie P. She said, why y'all blaming JJ every year? We're blaming the fucking coach. How about aiming that energy towards Rob Pelinka? Rob Pelinka is just a star catcher. You know what I mean by that, sis? Star catcher means he gets the stars and he thinks, job is done. But as I mentioned in the previous stream, you can't just grab the star and think job is done. You can't have the car frame without the engine. It's not going to run. That's what's happening. We have a very cool car frame. We got a freaking Challenger car frame out here, man. We got a Dodge Challenger. We got a freaking Ferrari car frame led by LeBron, Luka, and Austin. Then there's no engine. There's no motor. There's no heart to this team. We're lacking in the depth, and that does fall on Rob Pelinka. My theory is that Mark Walter's sitting back seeing what Rob's going to do. This is the evaluation time. He just bought the team. Literally last year, the sale was completed around December. Or was it December, September, October? I forgot when. It was one of those. It was either September, October, November, or December. I forgot what month it was already. It was closer to December. I do remember that. Sale was completed. So I'm not going to make excuses for Mark, but I have a theory. I think he did the same thing with the Dodgers. Kind of let them play out the 1 year after he bought them. And then after that, he came in swiftly, man. like a thief in the night. He took everybody's job, and that's what I think is going to happen to Robbie P. If he doesn't have a monumental trade deadline where we can get back on track. Right now, we're only 8 games over 500. That's nothing. Remember, at one point we were 12 games. 12 games, I think, was our season high, over 500. Now we're 8, and we might lose tomorrow too. We might go 7 after tomorrow because we play Toronto, who's younger, hungrier, and healthier, right? So yeah, I think Rob definitely leaves a lot to be desired. I agree. I agree with you, and he might be the next one on the chopping block. He might be. TV said they've gotten worse, but it's explainable. I'm not making excuses. They have been bad at certain things all year. They just found a way to win regardless, which is where all those clutch games form. Yeah, you're right. We found a way to win, but right now we don't even have the energy to even compete. So to me, that's a big drop off. From finding a way to win, even though there were close games, to not even competing and getting blown out game after game. That's my issue. At one point, at one point do we stop? At one point, do we stop and say, we're free falling. We got to wait and see, man. We got to wait and see. Let's see. It's starting to feel like last season all over again. For the last like 3 seasons, it has felt like that, Kelly. It's felt like this team starts off hot, falls off, and we get healthy right before the playoffs, and we think we're gonna make a run, and then boom, boom, right? You need those project guys, maybe 2, 3. They're the guys that in 2, 3 years turn into the Max Christie types. They need room to grow, but the main rotation is problematic. No two-way depth. That's what I'm telling you. I don't mind having 2 or 3 of those guys, but we have 6 of them. 6 of them is a lot, bro. 6 of them means like I'm not complaining about. I love young talent, but tonight really exposed the lack of depth. Due to injuries, we had to activate all these G League guys. Chris Manning, I forgot he even existed. We haven't seen him in a minute, but Chris Manning, Brian James, Kobe Buffkin, Nick Smith, Dalton, and Drew Timme. These are our 6 project players on the roster, whether they're on two-way contracts or on regular, or regular contracts like Bronny. But they're project players, man. We need more reliable players. I'm cool with having 3, maybe even 4 of those guys, but 6 is a little too much. 6 is just a little bit too much for my liking, personally. I agree that you need those guys. I love young talent. It's horrible. Justin said there's no transmission, homie. Nothing. I know. I'm saying I go with the engine because that's like the universally understood car part. I don't know. Dave McMiniman said Rob and JJ will remain in their roles as long as Jeanie is the main governor. She is contracted to be for 5 years in writing. Unlike Cuban, I'm worried about that. I wouldn't worry too much about Jeanie. They can say whatever they want, but if they had a bad season, I believe we were booing last game, right? Weren't we booing? I could have sworn the Laker fans were booing after we got blown out by Charlotte. Usually when boos happen, heads roll, man. I've been a Laker fan for so long, 28 plus years and counting. I lost count of how many years I've been a Laker fan, but close to 30. And one thing is when the fans get involved, what happened when the Laker fans started booing Kwame Brown? We got Pau Gasol, right? So usually when fans boo, you're at the end. You're at the end of one era, whether it's a player era or a GM era or a coach's era. Remember we started booing Darvin Ham? Laker fans have a lot of power, man. A lot of power, man. A lot of power for sure. And so, when you go to the games, you have your voices heard, and Mark Walter's sitting there. You're gonna be looking around, be like, okay, we gotta do something about this because we're gonna start losing the fans. We start losing the money. You hit them where it hurts. You hit them in the money. They start making moves. Pay close attention to this trade deadline. This trade deadline is gonna tell us one of 2 things. We're gonna start building now for the future and for the now and make a trade, maybe even trade a draft pick or whatever. Or it's going to tell us that they got something bigger up their sleeve for the offseason. I know you guys don't want to hear that. That would then make this a gap year, So I think February 5th can't come here soon enough because that's usually the time where we're going to know what this team is all about. Are they serious or are they not serious? I'm sure Walter will get a final say, but I'm sure he will also listen to her judgment too. Jeannie's never really gotten involved in the basketball stuff. If you pay attention, she never ever really gets involved in that. She really only hired Rob Pelinka because he was Kobe's guy and because he was a likable guy. But she really just let Rob and at the time Magic handle all the basketball stuff. You know. So, but we got a new owner. That new owner is not the PR guy. He's the real deal, and I believe he's going to come in. We already saw him fire a couple people. We saw him make a couple moves already. Let's see. Trade deadline is going to be very telling. See if he's sitting back and taking a wait and see approach, or if he's actually hands on. Hands on. Let's see. Oh yeah, we gotta get them likes up, man. Let's get them likes up. Y'all want them phone calls up? Scratch my back. I got you guys right back. It's not phone call Friday, so I don't want to burn the calls. That's why I do it this way. Either you guys really want it, you show me with the likes, or we wait till Friday to do it. Yeah, it feels worse because there's so many quickly, but they've been getting blown out on games they lose since day one. Was my point? Miss AR. Oh, we definitely miss AR. Yeah, it's worse. This year is a lot worse, bro. I'm sorry. The second part of the season has been a lot worse for sure. For sure. Yeah, they booed Gabe. Good. Good. That means they watching the post game recaps. They know who we don't like over here. They be watching this, man. Fans know they're educated, man. They booed the right guy. He's super, man. Mid-level exception, putting up bagels, man. This motherfucker's putting up bagels like we at the donut shop. Okay? Can't have that. Not for the mid-level exception. That's a waste. Jeanie needs to stop hiring people for sentimental reasons and start hiring people based on qualifications. That's mixing business with pleasure. I agree with that. But this is why I believe she sold the team. Jeanie no longer at the helm. I know that's what they said, and she's under contract or whatever. But if you guys know anything about business, and I know you do, Sis, but I'm talking about everybody else. In business, when you sell a business to somebody, there's always that process where you teach them the business as you're selling it to them. It's like a process. You hand it off, you connect the business partners. I've seen this happen personally. I've seen somebody sell a business to somebody else. And you connect everybody to the foundation of the business. And that's what Jeanie is. She's a connector. She's going to connect Mark Walter to all the connections, everything she knows, how to get the celebrities in the front row, all of that. That's what she's still a face per se, but she has never ever in her career made basketball decisions. The only basketball decision she made or she signed off on was hiring Rob Pelinka, who was recommended by Kobe Bean. Right. So, but if she didn't have that recommendation, she would have never made that move either. So I'm not worried about her. My direction now turns to Mark Walter. He's the one now. He's the guy. He's the guy. He said, I believe Mark Walter will make his own hirings and let Rob and JJ go this offseason. It could happen. Again, I don't want to put too much emphasis into it, but it could happen. It could happen. I think this is going to be a pretty big offseason as far as letting us know what type of owner we have now. Yes, Mr. Punt to the offseason. Pelinka strikes again for the 4th year in a row. And if that happens again, then that means, guess what? Guess what, D-Free? That means he needs to be fired. That means he needs to be fired, man. It's insane, bro. It truly is, man. It's really, he has fallen flat a lot. He has fallen flat a lot. Rob's, MLE's, Gabe, Nunn, Lonnie Walker, and Harold. They have all technically failed because even though Lonnie Walker was good, he didn't get any PT. So it was a fail of a signing because Darvin didn't use him properly. Not Lonnie Walker's fault because when he was out there, baller. He even had that game when he hit that game winner over Steph Curry in the playoffs. Y'all remember that? But he was underutilized, which means it was the wrong signing. So that's 0 for 4 right there off the top. Thank you for the list, D-Free. Robbie P, y'all. He's great at landing, like I said, the frame of the car, but never the engine. Never anything else. So it is what it is. He said, new spot? Nah, man, I'm in a hotel, bro. I'm in a hotel. They're remodeling my apartment, guys. Yeah, so I'm in a hotel. Let's see, 1-5 record in 6 games. Dan, where do we go from here? Well, we're free falling. We're free falling right now. That's what we're doing. We're free falling. Now people really understand the importance of having a 3-level scorer / finisher / closer like Austin Reaves. I hope, at least I hope. There was a lot of channels that were making videos hitting on my channel based off of the love and respect I showed for Reaves balling out this season when he was having an MVP caliber season to start the year. Well, he's definitely missed, but he's not bringing Austin Reaves back not going to solve all the other issues we have, man. Defensive issues, transition defensive issues, the turnover issues. None of that gets solved just by adding one player. This team definitely needs a lot more than that. Hopefully they get it, man. Hopefully they get it, but I can't promise you guys, based on what I'm hearing, that they're going to solve it all in one trade deadline. This might be a all the way to the offseason type of thing. We might get lucky and strike a deal that helps us, kind of like that one year when we traded for Vando, D'Lo, and Malik Beasley, and we made to the Western Conference Finals. That's what we're hoping for right now. That's what we're hoping for right now, at least. So let's see what happens there. My guy said Jeanie was brought up because the report got those two will stay in their roles as long as she's in hers. We'll see. Things change. A lot of things can be said. But things change, and we'll see what happens, man. A lot of things can be said, but things change. So let's see what happens. All I know is that I'm not gonna put all my eggs in one basket and believe that Jeanie's the one making the decisions, because even when she did own when she was a majority stake owner, even then she didn't, make the decisions. It's been widely reported that it wasn't her. She just okayed. People were out here telling her what to do. As a matter of fact, the Ram buy came under a lot of fire because they were heavily in her ear. Pelinka can't fully evaluate until Trevor Ariza comes back. Oh man, I remember that. That is a problem. That's what I'm saying. We can't move. This is a hair race. We can't move in a turtle's pace, in a snail's pace. You can't do that. And the Clippers are 12-2 in their last 14 games. They still ain't shit, by the way. They pull up the standings. The Clippers still. That's like the worst example we could use. Clippers still not going to be shit, man. No matter what, they can go 30-2 the rest of the way. They're not going to. We know what the Clippers are, man. They're fool's gold. They're still 18-23 is a lot better than it was, but I'll never believe in this team ever. Let's see what their schedule's looking like. They got they have the Wizards coming up next, the Bulls. So they're taking advantage of an easier schedule. Then they got us, then Brooklyn. Out of these 4 teams, we might be the only challenge they get. Maybe the Bulls, right? Bulls and us, but again, man, Clippers, we know what's up with them, man. They're really not anything. We should never compare ourselves or even, is you can trust Rob to revamp this roster. Again, he might be in his last legs. I know what the reports are saying, but I don't believe it, especially if he doesn't have a really good trade deadline. Like, he has to have a really good one. I'm talking Herb Jones / another player at minimum, or something really good that gets us to say, okay. Because remember, just a year ago, I was completely out on him. He has struck it out for me. I wanted past him, and then he landed Luka, and I said, wow, this is really going to change things. But since then, he had an okay offseason. Okay, I like the offseason on paper. The injuries have really plagued us. We started off good. Everything was looking good. Aiden was balling to start the year. Luka, MVP candidate. All these things. And then it took a sour turn, right? After the injuries and stuff. But I also got to blame a little bit on JJ because he plays these players a lot. He plays these players a lot, and I think this is leading to a lot of injuries. Some of it is on the schedule makers too. But yeah, Rob Pelinka definitely takes his fair share of the blame. Timme to the rotation. Well, let's talk about Drew Timme. Let's switch it a little bit to positive because as you can see in the thumbnail, we have a silver lining, man. Let's talk about Drew Timme. Drew Timme just, he just right now might have played his way to more minutes. Like, he was the most impressive thing about this game. And we're talking about 21 points in 29 minutes. 9 for 12 from the field. Extremely efficient. 3 for 4 from beyond the arc. Extremely efficient. He was the best player we had tonight. Not just bench player. Best player. Can he do that every game? Probably not. But man, I'm telling y'all, man, it's one of them things, bro. Nuggets have a lot of upward momentum. They have played the most road games in the NBA, so they're going to have a lot of home, and they've gotten one of the easier schedules remaining from here. I fucking hate the Nuggets, bro. I fucking hate these Nuggets. There are a couple of other teams like them that have played all of their hard games, and so it gets harder for us to keep pace. Got to get healthy. Got to make honestly a couple of moves at least. I agree. If they don't make the moves, we know they're punting it away. If they're punting it away, then we should punt Rob Pelinka away as well. You know, we should. And to anybody trolling about the Clippers, bro, you getting straight black, bro. This ain't a Clipper channel, bro. I'm pretty sure y'all could, all 7 of their fans could convene at the corner liquor store somewhere. Y'all don't even need a damn YouTube channel, fam. He said, "I like the new green screen." You know better, Chappie. Ain't no green screens over here, bro. You know what it is. It's the hotel, bro. Gotta act brand new, Chappie. If that's the bar, just fire him now because it's not going to happen. We will see. We will see, D-Free. We will see. It'll be an interesting offseason for sure, but not before the trade deadline. I think the trade deadline becomes the most interesting right now. And last year, let's be honest, we wanted a big man last year. That's what we wanted to put next to Anthony Davis. We didn't get a big man, but we got a big name, not a big man. And so sometimes we think we're expecting something and we get something completely different. For example, we could be expecting or wanting Herb Jones. Some people are crazy enough to even want Kuminga, which is fine with me. He's a young project player, but with a lot of potential. But I just don't see the fit. Watch us get something from left field that nobody's talking about. And hopefully it moves the needle, man. And again, a lot of the times we think we know what the Lakers are going to do or should do, and to do something completely, man. I don't think anybody expected Luka to get traded here last trade deadline. So again, keep an eye out because I'm looking around the market, and there's a lot of names that are being shopped. A lot. And you know what? Now that I'm here settled in the hotel, I'm gonna make you guys some of those trade machine videos. I think you guys. Some people have already been DMing me about it. On off Laker days, I'm gonna pick when I'll make a trade machine video to see what type of trades the Lakers should make, could make, maybe even some predictions. We'll see. My guy Mark said sometimes you have to improvise, adapt, overcome. Good job on the show. Anywhere, anytime. I got you guys, man. I've done my post game on the road before when my boy Mookie has blessed me with Laker tickets or Tara or anybody. Shout out to everybody who did. I've done it, in the park. It's been great, man. It's been great. It's always a blast, even when it's not a blast like tonight when we lost. But always a blast with y'all, man. It feels good to vent, to talk these things out, kind of bring a little bit of perspective, different angles, your guys' different perspectives, my perspective. Feels good, Mark. So it's a blessing, bro. I seen that. Hey, sis, I seen Chris Paul shooting his shot. You know what? A part of me wants to feel bad for him, but he's been such an a-hole his entire career, especially to the Lakers. I don't know if I could feel anything for him, man. I don't know if I could feel anything for Chris Paul. Do you guys feel sorry for Chris Paul? Would you guys, would you guys actually want to, give Chris Paul a try? I mean, anything's better than Gabe, but besides that, let's just say we do have an open roster spot right now. I think you can sign somebody. I don't know how this new CBA works, man. It's so weird, but I think you can sign somebody on a prorated discount. I'm not sure, actually, but what do you guys feel about that? Would you guys like to see big-headed ass, no neck having Chris Paul, eraser head ass Chris Paul on the Lakers? He is a great vet as far as teaching the youth, and I could definitely see him passing some of his wisdom down to guys like Nick Smith and Kobe Buffkin at the guard position. We saw how tremendous his mentorship was for the young Spurs. So in that sense, I wouldn't mind it, but that would be more of a long-term play. I want a short-term, like now move. But that's just me personally. What do you guys think? Let's see. My guy said, yeah, but he got bailed out because he was 100% not gonna get the big man. The team was in 4th in the West at the time of the trade while AD was hurt. Yeah, I remember that. That's crazy, bro. Still one of the craziest trades in my life as a Laker, man. That one and the Pau Gasol trade two of the craziest ones, man. There's been some crazy ones. It's always fun, but would you rather have CP3 or Gabe? CP3. Gun to the head, sis. If I had to make that choice right now on the live stream, CP3. Give me CP3. He's a jackass. He's an asshole. Little man syndrome. He's always trying to pick a fight. He's always trying to break somebody's arm. But he's a better, believe it or not, veteran leader for the young. Besides the on-court antics, you know? And he's a real asshole as far as being an asshole on the practice. I'm not sure if he'll continue to be that because the Clippers cut him, and that's like bottom of the bottom. When the bottom of the bottom cuts you, it has to humble you in some way. Now, if Chris Paul comes back, he's been working out, and he looks like at least his Spurs days, and he's pretty halfway decent, then I'll take a flyer on him for sure. But he has some inner soul searching to do. It's like, dude, you're old, and you're getting your ass kicked out of the bottom feeder franchise like the Clippers. If he comes to Lakers, he better come humble. I'm ready to work and ready to lead by example. If he does that, no problem, man. No problem. We take on everybody. We've taken on some assholes before on here. You know, so let's see. Rob showed over the last 2 or 3 years that he was content only making small moves and just keeping his assets for post LeBron and AD, and he would have done it again. Again, there's a new sheriff in town. Rob can show whatever he wants, but Rob is about to get robbed of his job by Mark Walter if he keeps this up. You know, Rob is about to get robbed of his job. Period. He said, Chris Paul, Rich Paul, Jake Paul, hell no to them all. That's funny, bro. That is funny. That's a good one for him. What can we hit that like button, bro? Hit that like button. Phone calls for sure, bro. Save it for Friday. I kind of make the phone calls a special thing because if we do it every stream, for one, it drags the stream a little too much sometimes. And then for two, it's not as special when you have every post-game stream. However, you know, I'm gonna ride the hot hand. If you guys really want it, we got about 339 watching right here with all the platforms combined. Just hit that like button. We get to 250 before I end this video. I'll open up the lines for sure. All right. No point in getting Chris Paul. I mean, there is a point. If there's a way that we can take all of Gabe Vincent's minutes, it's a win. But the main point would be just him being a mentor and an extra coach, kind of like Rondo was off and on the floor whenever he's out there. So. But I agree with my guy right here, friends. We definitely don't like Chris Paul's attitude. He's been an asshole for years, man. For years. Blaming always Bron. I don't recall anybody blaming Bron, bro. I think you're on the wrong channel. Oh, maybe if I didn't read the comment, it is what it is. What is Bron's fault? Yeah, no, this guy's definitely a troll. All right, I'll escort you to the troll channel, bro. It's not here. Can nobody say the Lakers team is done up, unfortunately? I feel like I read this always at this part of the year when we struggle, and then we make a nice move, and then our hopes get up. I'm gonna try to stay even keel, man. I'm not gonna neither deny or confirm what you just said, Russell. All I'm gonna say is I hope that the Lakers aren't done because there's a lot of potential here, man. You're talking about a 33.5 point per game scorer in Luka. LeBron James is just an all-timer. Okay, no matter what he's scoring, he could go for 30 or he can go for 13 assists. But when he does it efficiently, he's amazing. You know, it's just so much. It's just so much that you know, it's just so much, man, that they're still left. And let's see. Rui is not happy coming off the bench, I'm sure, but he's gonna be even more happy when the Lakers don't offer him a contract. He ends up playing for like Charlotte for like the minimum if he keeps it up. So he needs to play better for sure. I know he's just coming off an injury, so I'm being very patient with Rui. I like him in the bench role, but if he doesn't like that role, he doesn't play. I don't know. Hey, Chappie, it's a lot of trolls, bro. It's regular, man. It's regular. Shout out to Kimiko and Lakers Rise for you know, patrolling the airways and keeping it safe for everybody who's a real Laker fan out here. But I try to stay patient, man. And then somebody says something silly like, "Oh, LeBron hates." Like, you're in the wrong channel, or you're hearing the wrong conversation, or you just want attention. Nobody's even talking about LeBron right now, bro. That's crazy. Okay, so hypothetically speaking, what happens if we still in his role and has a crappy offseason. I know Walter has a pedigree with the Dodgers, but I need to see it here. D-Free is going to happen, bro. I promise. It's going to happen. Mark Walter is going to bring that iron fist with him everywhere he goes. It's not just with the Dodgers, man. I'm sure he wants to recreate the success they have here. He has to navigate, obviously, around the CBA and some contract situations and stuff. I believe, for whatever reason, I don't know, my heart of hearts, man, and usually my gut is right on stuff like this, but I believe that if Rob Pelinka doesn't make a splash here in the trade deadline, he's done by the summer. I do. And they might make it mutual. They might say, oh, Rob Pelinka and the Lakers have parted ways mutually to make it look like not an ugly divorce. But we really know that mutual is really code word for we fired your ass. We just want you to save face. I can see that happening in the summer if nothing really intriguing happens, right? JD said Rich Paul wants Austin traded, and we haven't looked good since Austin got hurt. Rich Paul can kick rocks, okay? We don't care what he wants, okay? We don't care. Message for Rich Paul.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
We don't care what you want, man. We don't care what you want, Rich Paul. We don't give a flying fuck what Rich Paul wants. Now, he might have had this power when he first got to the Lakers, because it's always, what have you done for me lately, right? But the Lakers haven't won a championship in about 5 seasons now. Going on 6 if we don't win this one. You're only as good as what you have done for me lately in the NBA. That's for that. We've seen it happen, you know? And it's like when Rich first came here, he was great, man. We were getting all kinds of great free agents. We got KCP on a discount. Then we hooked up KCP and gave him a bigger contract on the back end. You know, we got a lot of clutch clients, but you know, there's things we haven't done that they wanted. So is a relationship fractured? Maybe. We'll see. This summer will tell us. We'll confirm for sure. Right? Let's see. Laker Riot Sis says, I'm noticing young players with no superstar egos are succeeding. It's a different NBA. It's a young man's league. That's what it is, Lakers Rise. And that's a beautiful thing to watch, honestly. I'm not even mad at it. You know, we had the generation of super teams with like the Warriors, the Heat, you know, and now we have a generation of young talent. I think the Thunder broke that seal. Now, there was a stigma that young teams couldn't win. Now the new blueprint is young, athletic, and full of great energy. You know, and the more younger they are, the more athletic they are, the more they move the ball, the more they run up and down, the more everybody eats. You know, and so you're right about that. That's a great point. It is a young man's league. We found that out after last year's finals. It was 2 young teams going at it, and the one that stayed the healthiest won. But that was a great series, and who knows what would have happened if Tyrese didn't have that horrific injury. I still think the Thunder would have won, but it would have been a lot more slight. It ended up being a Game 7 blowout. But that was a great series. It was. On a positive note, they have been burying Drew on the bench when he very clearly has the offensive skill to play. Fun fact about Drew Timme. I hated him on Gonzaga, man. I couldn't stand his ass in Gonzaga, but I always respected his game. I was like, that guy's going to be a bucket in the NBA. Surprised he became a journeyman. A lot of the times that happens because either the player's not the youngest one coming out of the draft, or because the franchise that he goes to sucks at developing young talent. They give up too early. It's like they want instant gratification type draft players. But at the end of the day, one team's trash is another team's treasure. Did we find a new one with Drew Timme? I don't know. There's 3 players I really like on this team. They're young, raw, and they're going to have up and downs. But if we stick with them, maybe they'll become something. Drew Timme's one. Kobe Buffkin's another one, and Nick Smith Jr. is the other one. Those are the 3, and obviously the ones we already have on contract, under contract. Like Adu Thiro, I like as well, but he's always hurt. That's the only, you know. But yeah, I mean, he showed us a little something tonight, and let's see if that opens up more opportunities for him to keep showing more. Do you think we need to trade Reaves while he's still hot right now? Depends what you get for him. Precaution. That's a great question, but it really just depends on what you get for him. Like, what are you going to get? If you get an upgrade, right? Like, there's only a handful of players I would trade Austin Reaves for, one for one. One being like Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown on Lakers next to Luka would be perfect. 3-and-D guy, can play off the ball, can play on the ball. And most importantly, he's a defender with good size, 6'7" wing. Perfect fit next to Luka. I would do that trade. Giannis Antetokounmpo, if we have to attach Austin Reaves a bunch of assets and stuff to pair up Giannis and Luka for the future and LeBron for the now, I'd do that as well. Again, and I'm going to fire up the trade machine. And I might even throw in some Austin Reaves packages. So I'm going to save some for that episode. Might happen over the next couple of days. Again, I might have a lot of time here in the hotel. But, you know, I got you guys with tons of content around the trade deadline. It gets really fun. We'll talk more about if we would trade Reaves, where should he go, and stuff like that. I think next year they'll trade Bronny. LeBron won't be on the team, and that's how they get rid of Rich Paul. Well, with Bronny, you don't have to worry about Rich Paul. Bronny, you know, not going to have the power, bro. Not going to have the power. Rich Paul is done with the Lakers as far as, you know, putting his clutches into the Lakers. And I knew there was a power struggle. You could tell whenever they would come out and say something in public. Starting with this summer, it was just very uncomfortable with Rich. So it's getting real. But I think the Lakers, I always said this, Lakers are royalty, man. They're not going to allow themselves to be coerced by anybody. Right? They will willingly do things like draft your son and stuff like that, because we're doing it in good faith out of the amazing years you gave us, especially that one championship. But the good faith ends when you take advantage of it. And I think Rich Paul has tried to take advantage of the Lakers, and Lakers said they hit him with the Matumbo whack. No. Hit him with that wag. It's just a theory of mine, just a theory. And, you know, some inner circles I speak with, a lot of people don't really like Rich Paul like that. It's always been the case. But I used to be a fan of Rich because I felt like the NBA was like a fraternity, and he was a minority that was breaking the rules and breaking through that fraternity. Kind of like Tiger Woods when he first got into the clubhouse and stuff like that, you know? It almost felt like that. But the NBA is not as racist as the NFL, I will say that. That's the good news, right? They got rid of the one racist. I'm pretty sure there's still a couple undercovers in there, but Sterling was the most racist one, right? But I'll tell you, like with Rich, I used to be a fan of his because I felt like he was breaking barriers. And, you know, as a black man, I thought, man, that's really inspirational. That's something, you know, as a Hispanic American, I will do one day myself, break barriers. There's a lot of inner circles and stuff like that. So it was inspiring to a point, but now it's getting like tiresome. It's like, okay, bro, you made your point. Now you try to do a little too much, Rich. Now you're trying to cross the line, you know, and dominate the league in whatever way they can. Now they're taking it to the podcast scene because they know that applies pressure and that makes noise, and it'll get ESPN to talk. They didn't get what they wanted with Anthony Davis. That's why AD got traded. I also think I blame Rich Paul for why AD got traded as well. Because I'm pretty sure Rich Paul was giving the wrong advice to guys like AD, telling him, hey, man, you can go out there and do an interview and complain about not having your big man. They say, oh, yeah, you want a big man? Dallas got two of them over there. Come on. See what you do with your big man, since you think you're so close to winning the chip and you don't want to let us build. So, again, the Lakers are a royalty franchise. They might not always be right. A lot of times they'll be wrong. But I think they're doing the right decision by shutting out Clutch, because Clutch is just, they want to dominate everywhere they go. And if you look, wherever they go, they leave a bad trail of, like, they burn their bridge there. You know, it's not a good look. Let's see what happens. Yo, what up, KD? Let's see. D3 says Lakers could have won 4 titles and still told Rich to shut up because they have Luka. That's why adding AD was a big deal. He was a long-term golden goose. They also got Vando, Theo, and all of them. Yeah, no, look, here's the thing, man. Again, they're not right always, but I think they're right in this case, man. To shut out Rich Paul, because ever since we've shut Rich Paul out, obviously we didn't come to a contract extension with LeBron. We've gone in a different direction and built around Luka. Seems to be a lot of animosity. So Rich is kind of showing his true colors. It's like he's a my way or the highway type of guy. It's like, oh, think about this. All these years LeBron was here, we never had a problem with Rich and them until we stopped doing what they wanted. What a coincidence, right? So I actually think the Lakers, this might be an ugly divorce at the end of the day, and I'm sure they're going to say a lot of negative stuff about this franchise in a podcast. Like, Rich Paul already threw jabs when he said Miami Heat, a winning organization. I think the Lakers can take a page out of them. How many championships they got compared to ours, man? And I know we're in a new era, new ownership and everything, but, man, I'm just saying, man, Rich Paul is a real cancer. And I've realized it since the summer. Now I was like, wait a minute, why is he doing all that? Why is it? It is what it is. Want to burn bridges? I don't like burning bridges. Unless they absolutely have to be burnt because somebody else is doing you dirty. But I don't like it. I'd rather be cool and keep your options open, man. But again, back to the Lakers, guys. We play tomorrow versus Toronto. My pregame will come a lot earlier, maybe even by noon, simply because the Rams play and then the Lakers play right after, so I'm not going to have time in between. But hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Again, Lakers still 8 games over 500. There's still hope. Don't give up on our team, guys. Appreciate you guys so much for tapping in tonight. Please do not forget to hit the like button. Subscribe if you already haven't. Got some videos coming up real soon. Some trade deadline ones too. So keep it locked, guys, for all things Lakers and more. This video was brought to you sponsored by Prize Picks and Underdog. Both promo code DTLF, all right? So tap in, guys. Keep it locked. See you guys on the next one, all right? Peace.